In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. Egyptian-wide government statement number 28. A distress call from the oppressed people of Egypt to everyone who believes in the principles of freedom on this earth. Dear brothers in humanity, since the military coup in July 2013, the Egyptian people have been suffering from all kinds of killing, torture, and displacement at the hands of Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and his ruling military regime in Egypt. Over the course of the last decade, we have exhausted all political means to end this injustice against the people of Egypt, whose poverty rates have exceeded more than 70%, and we have no choice but to seek the help of everyone who believes in freedom in the world. Over the course of 9 years, the United Nations and all countries of the world have stood a weak position in light of the looting of Egypt's wealth and the killing of thousands by all internationally prohibited means, until he became in every home and every family a prisoner who testifies that Abdel Fattah al-Sisi's regime has committed the most heinous types of crimes, including killing, enforced disappearance, displacements, and a complete violation of human rights in prisons filled with more than 120,000 political prisoners. Therefore, the Egyptian-wide government, as an Egyptian entity rebelling against the authority of the military, is addressing a distress call to all the people of the world, asking for your support by pressing your governments to take a positive attitude towards what is happening in Egypt. We also call upon the governments of Germany, Italy, France, United States, and United Kingdom, those countries that sing day and night about human rights and in the dark provide al-Sisi with weapon with which the people of Egypt are killed. Al-Sisi has lost his constitutional legitimacy as a result of his neglect of the rights of the Egyptians, his mismanagement of state resources, and the doubling of Egypt's debt 7 times in 8 years. This is in addition to the brutal acts of murder and rape, and it's no longer possible for him to continue ruling Egypt except with the fist of arms and the terrorizing of innocent Egyptians in their homes. If the world does not act now to save Egypt, then prepare for the biggest humanitarian disaster, which will be many times larger than what happened in Syria and Iraq. Today, we call upon the international and regional powers to respect the will of the Egyptian people and comply with their demands, which are summarized in the following 5 demands. First, we call upon Mr. Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to announce his approval of a free and fair popular referendum on his remaining in power, provided that the referendum is conducted under international supervision of the United Nations and its organs. Second, we call upon all countries participating in a climate summit in Egypt, COP27, to participate in the supervision and control through delegates of this popular referendum, which the Egyptian constitution guarantees to the people of Egypt. Third, in the event that Mr. Abdel Fattah al-Sisi abstains from holding the required referendum or violates the conditions of freedom, integrity, and international supervision, we call upon the international community to issue an explicit criminalization of Mr. Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and his political regime for violating human rights and practicing extrajudicial killings and torture in preparation for his referral to the International Criminal Court. Fourth, we, the people of Egypt, demand that all future governments in Egypt to sign all international treaties and covenants that protect human rights, including protocols supplementing the International Charter on Human Rights, the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court, conventions for the prevention of torture and enforced disappearance. In the end, we assure the world that Egypt has no terrorism, and the terrorism witnessed in Sinai and across Egypt is planned and executed by Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and his military regime, only to terrorize the people, spread fear and anxiety among the Egyptians to refrain from opposing his regime. This includes but not limited to the murder of former President Mohamed Morsi, the shooting of the Russian civilian airplane, killing of Mexican tourists, killing of over 300 people inside the mosque in cold blood, killing of more than 20,000 protesters since 2011, and the murder of the Egyptian soldiers at checkpoints on a daily basis. The world should remember always Syria and Iraq and the number of refugees who flooded the world east and west, threatening the global peace and security. We, the people of Egypt, have not and shall not despair until our demands for self-determination and the choice of who governs us are fulfilled. God save Egypt.